Hi everyone, I thought it would be fun to shoot an overhead shot style video in sharing what I've been bringing along in my travel makeup bag. Not only will I be covering my go-to picks as of late for the season, but I'll also cover the brushes that I've been taking with me and also different style, let me get them, where'd they go? Different style makeup bags and brush bags that I've been rotating through. But just to start, this has been the main bag I've been using to carry my makeup in and in a carry-on. I haven't been checking luggage, so I'm able to get away with bringing my makeup on the plane, but also kept it edited because I've only been traveling overnight trips lately, nothing longer than that. And I realized if longer, I would definitely need a larger makeup bag. Or not, but this has been my go-to size, and it's the Lisa Eldridge, I believe it's the Liberty makeup bag that I received gift with purchase with an order. I think it was my Desert Gleam order that I made a few months back. I also have the little Lisa Eldridge makeup bag on standby because if I need to keep it super edited, I actually would use this. And all what you see here is what I have in my fanny pack because I needed to wash it. So those are my fanny pack essentials. And if I needed something larger, I've been using, I forgot the name of this brand, it's Stephanie something. I bought it from Nordstrom years ago. It's not the best, it's okay. It's just, I've been tolerating it because I don't have anything else really. I also have this Units makeup bag that I don't remember if I purchased or requested through Beautylish years ago. But the advantage this type of makeup bag has is that it is clear, plastic, and easy to clean. Something that's made out of fabric like the Lisa bag, not so easy to clean, but doable. I think the other night, well, this is what I did. I turned it inside out and just gently wiped with Bioderma on the inside to get some of the makeup off. And that's pretty much all you can do. Or I could probably soak it in a gentle detergent solution to get the stains out, but this actually surprisingly hasn't got too banged up, the outside pattern, but I can definitely understand the appeal behind using a clear makeup bag because you can see what you have. In the process of packing and trying to figure out what to bring along or leave behind, you can see what you have already. But this is not the most flexible, so it feels quite stiff. And when you gotta get in, you actually have to be a little strategic with how you pack your makeup so it can stack well for this bag to close. The Lisa bag, because it's softer, you could get away with kind of like stuffing it haphazardly and it be able to zipper anyway. So that's the advantage I choose over an easier to clean makeup bag. And there'll be timestamps down below because if you want to head over straight to the brush section, you will. I don't know what I will call that chapter yet while I'm filming this video, but it'll be called what, you know, my best brushes or my favorite brushes to bring along, so you can hop over to that section. Now, if I'm building what I'm bringing along on a trip, I start with Complexion. And as of late, I've been collecting my sample jars that the brand counters from Nordstrom were so kind to give me upon buying something else, right? So this was included in my purchase. I would fill this up with my favorite cream or whatever moisturizer I've been using before applying foundation. I also have this deluxe size sample of the Prada Augmented Skin Cream, which is fabulous. It's expensive and something I would never purchase full price because this huger jar is like $300. So I'm keeping the little jar, but it is quite large. And if I'm trying to economize space, I will definitely pick the smaller sample jar size. But because we got a little bit of room, we could hop in with the Prada Skin, no worries. Now here's where it could get a little tricky. For foundation, sure, I have the space, but I've been trying to look for little to-go jars. This is from Muji. And initially I thought it was a good idea because it's small, but it's actually hard to screw open because when the foundation gets on the ridges, it's tough to open and close. Like I have to put in a lot of elbow grease to get this little guy open, and it's also tricky to close as well. This is where I've been pumping in my Givenchy Glow Serum Foundation to go because this is a big bottle and a heavy one at that. And why I understand stick foundations are appealing when dealing with this circumstance, because I don't have to worry about it being a liquid, although I think in Europe they might consider this to be a liquid too, so you might, I don't know, declare it during security or something. But because in the US they're not so big on that, it's not an actual liquid, I would rather just pack something like this. It's smaller, it's lighter, right, compared to this. But if I wanted to get away with packing more from another category, that's when I'll insist on using something constructed like this little jar. But I also have small pump bottles that I purchased at Muji as well, that I actually might buy one more of and then use that to put the foundation in, because I think that's a lot more user friendly than this little jar that I have and will take up much less space. But for the sake of examples, I'll put in the Christian Dior foundation stick, which I actually found a way to apply this that I like. What I have to do is, and this is in 3.5, and by the way, I like to warm it up on back of hand first and then use a buffer brush to pick up the product from back of hand and then buff onto my skin. That has made my go-to application technique to make this foundation work for my skin type. Otherwise, if you put it directly on the skin, I think it just appears too heavy, too much of a makeup look in my opinion. And now we have concealer. As of late, I've been using the heck out of my Burberry concealer, but it's really just been between these two. These two right here, the Gucci or the Burberry. I've been loving the Burberry, but I love the Gucci as well. The Gucci is a little more self-setting. The Burberry, creamier, more of like a natural skin finish. But, you know, just to mix it up, I'll go in with the Burberry because this has a similar finish to the Christian Dior. If I were to bring the Glow Serum, then I feel the Burberry is a closer matchup in terms of finish with the Givenchy. But you see, the Burberry is going. I've been using the heck out of this concealer, man. Pouches. Okay, I have a little room in here, but if I were packing my smaller makeup bag, I would bring along my travel size hourglass jar for their Veil translucent setting powder. This I received gift of purchase from Blue Mercury when I purchased their little eyeshadow palette. Just have to be careful because unfortunately with loose powders this will happen, and the jar kind of unscrewed a little bit in the bag, so you have to make sure this is secured tightly. Otherwise, I would probably bring like a compact. This is the Dior Forever Nude Matte Filter in 02 Light. I have been using this under the eyes to prep the brows for brow pencil shading. And I have the room, right? But if I really needed to cut corners, yes, I would put in the mini loose powder instead. And also, this serves as my mirror. So it has two roles. The setting roll and what am I doing roll. I gotta see myself. Now we're up to the toughest category for me to edit, and that is the cheek category, right? Because I get into, what if I want to look like this? And what if I look like that? With the bronzers and the highlighters and the blush, my gosh, we could go wild. But I haven't been able to leave behind my Farrow Hamidi Essential Bronzer Compact in Roma. This has been going everywhere with me. Even if I don't use it, it's just a little more security. What role this serves is two. First of all, this bronzer texture is just sublime. It's soft, easy to blend, and that toasty base it provides plays well with a ton of my different blush products. And it also serves the purpose of giving me a little more balance on my complexion if I'm looking a little too light. But that's not going to happen if I'm bringing 3.5 N along, because this looks a little peachy warm on me. But if I were bringing the Givenchy, just to kind of match my more tan body shade, I go in with Roma to kind of balance out that coloring. But this compact is quite heavy. That's the problem. But it is smaller than, let's say, the YSL compact. And this color is a little more on the terracotta caramel side, has a little more brightening to it. But because I already have this larger Dior compact. That's going to serve my mirror purposes. But this is where like an Hourglass face palette will come in handy, right? Not only do you have the bronzer, but you also will have finishing powder, highlighter, and blush. So this is going to knock out this, the bronzer. We didn't even start with blush yet. And this fits here. This fits in well, right? And I completely understand why someone would just go Hourglass face palette or any other face palette for that matter, because it just requires less bandwidth when trying to pack and decide what to bring along. You already have, again, your mirror, you have your blushes, your bronzer, your finishing powder, your highlighter, and you're done. And these shades have never failed me. It's one of those things where I'm good with whatever Hourglass palette I bring, especially the one that's developed for medium to tan skin tones. These are a little too pink for my liking, and why I would probably still insist on bringing something more terracotta leaning, like my Sochi Blurring Pillow Blush in Copper Spice. But you know what? You can't go wrong with the Hourglass, man. So we're gonna put it in there. Now here's the thing, okay? I had this in there for my mirror, but because we have the mirror, but that powder, this one here in the palette, is not suitable for setting. This is for finishing. So for setting, this is where the little jar of loose powder from Hourglass will come in. Okay, so we're gonna put that in instead. Sorry, Christian Dior, you've been kicked out. You also been kicked out, Fada. I'm so sorry. So technically, we already have highlighter, blush, and bronzer covered. But because I'm so picky with the blush, let's go over the few options that I have on standby. We have what has not yet been released online. My apologies. I was able to buy this in store at the Dior location in Soho, NYC. This is the Forever Blush Soft Filter in 07 Orchid. What a phenomenal shade that just requires zero thinking and all the confidence. When I apply this on my cheeks, the complexion just comes together effortlessly and in a way that's just like, why am I wearing anything else? And I would rather have this color than the pinks. But this is glass. It's heavier. You got to be careful and maybe put something in the bag alongside the other products that will serve as a buffer. We also have what I showed before, my Sochi, which I can't get enough of. This is going to be a little more earthy, a little more body to the color, but just to kind of stay within the realm of what I already have in the Evil Eye palette, I think Orchid would go beautifully with this edit. So in goes Orchid because I can't get enough. And I would also insist on including some type of cream highlighter. These are the two that I've been rotating heavily through. You got the Byredo highlight stick, the Engilded Memoir, the fluid highlighter stick, and the VBB Reflect highlighter stick in Pearl. Surprisingly, the VBB has a little more of like a glassy skin finish. There's a little more luminosity to it and shine, versus the Byredo stick is more of like a shimmer glow effect. I don't know if you can see that on camera. There's a little more golden in the Byredo and there's a little more of like a champagne pearl. But do you see more of like that glaze from the VBB? I know it's hard to see, but I think both textures serve perfectly as like a base for a powder highlighter. But I've just been going with the VBB. First of all, I just love this component. And secondly, it provides a fantastic base for the powder highlighters to lay down smoothly and not look as powdery on the skin. So in it goes. Now, this is where we get into eyeshadow. And my goodness, if you don't know, I recently tried the Giorgio Armani eye tint and I am utterly in love with this formula. Specifically, this shade is 25M Sandalwood and it is the perfect one and done shade for me for my eyelids. It is like my eyelid color, but warmer beige. I can still see it. It might be hard to see on camera, but it's like that clean canvas lid with a little bit of coloring, just enough, and provides a fantastic foundation for whatever I wish to apply on top. So yesterday I went in with the Miss Dior palette on top. I could have went in with an entirely different palette if I wanted. Like I have the YSL here. If I wanted to go in, you know what? Is this Over Brune? No, it's not. It's Unexplored Garden. But this will look fantastic with Unexplored Garden. I could also go in with one of the Suku eyeshadow singles because they don't take up much space. So I could go in with this first and then maybe, not the matte per se. Is this the one? Yes, I could go in with this color. It's like a duochrome on top. Oh, don't mess up your watch, of the eye tint. Isn't that pretty? And then follow up with some liner. And I would go in with the Prada liner in Wood. This has been my go-to choice. What do we think? This is a great combination. But what I've been doing, because since I just purchased these, was go in the Dior Quint. And what I like to do is apply this shade over the eye tint, and then this more like icy champagne shade on the inner corner. Or I like to do this on the outer corner to provide a little more of that smoked out effect. So either will do. It really depends on your preference. But this has been the appeal behind smaller palettes, and they just take up less space. Like I'm not going to bring in, or bring with me rather, a Natasha Denona Midi. I'm definitely not bringing along a Pat McGrath Mothership palette. I could bring one of her Quints. One of her Quints does make more sense than bringing the larger palettes. But even this is smaller than Pat's Quints, but not by much. It's just more square versus rectangle. I would even argue to bring Sandalwood with Bold Black from the Miss Dior Fall collection. Because what I can do is apply this shade or even the rose gold on top of Sandalwood. And in my opinion, Bold Black has a lot more shine than Wild Beige. Look at that. This is the Wild Beige. This is more like a burnished metallic, but look how much more sparkle you have in the Bold Black Quint. That rose gold is insane. Even the more icy blue sparkle shade is prettier. I could go in with this shade on top of Sandalwood for a little more of a highlight effect, highlight sheen on the center of the lid, and then softly go in with the black for some diffuse definition across the lash line. You know what I mean? So I think I'm going to go in with Bold Black because this would be my transition moment. If I wanted to pivot from daily friendly into night, if I happen to go to dinner or just have to be at an event with that requires, from my perspective, a more glam eye, I think this is a fantastic pairing because this is going to provide that daily haze base, that soft, barely there, but just enough eye look, especially when paired with the Prada liner in Wood and, of course, Prada Scope Mascara. But if I wanted to bump it up, these are going in the bag for sure. Then I got Miss Dior to hold it together, right? To pick us up and bring us into glam land. Bold Black is going in, eye tints are going in, which by the way, I am buying more of. I'm just hiding in the bushes and waiting for a sale either on the Giorgio Armani side or definitely getting more during the sale event from Sephora when that starts. I could bring lashes, but I actually been fine with just curling my lashes and bringing along the Refa curler as well as my Prada Scope mascara. But if I had to bring lashes, it will be these, the Ardell Naked Lashes in 421. These are the lashes that I always wear. So if you're wondering what I wear in videos and what I would wear outside of videos in real life, these are it. Their band is just super thin, easy to wear, easy to apply. And I think I want to get one of those to-go cases for lashes because this is a little big for the bag, although I can fit it. It's right at the edge here. So doable, but I think it'll be better if I brought along like half the width of this holder, whatever it's called. Lips. So lips have been an issue because I have so many favorites that have been piling up as of late. My Miss Dior, or specifically the Dior Addict Hydrating Shine lipstick, this is in D Dream, has been an absolute sublime fantasy of a lip color. I mean, my goodness. And ease of application, ease of wear, and the instantaneous, glamorous, sophisticated, but just that grown but sexy look delivered with this color has been immense. Immense. I also have Bold Black. I think I might have it in here somewhere. Bold Black is a fantastic color as well because it's one that pulls everything together. It gives like nice glam without being too much. It is wonderful, wonderful lip color. So it'll either be between Bold Black or D-Dream. But I've also been loving my Suku Fluid Glow Lip in 109. This is from winter 2024. It's like a liquid satin lipstick and it is divine. It's like a warm caramel shade. And then I have to figure out, well, what lip liner am I bringing? If I'm bringing any of these, I have to bring Farah Humidi's Minky. This is the lip pencil that goes with, ooh, oh my gosh, that goes with everything. It's like my lip, but better, but like a rosy brown. So it will go well with D-Dream. It will go well with Suku's 109. Lisa's Sculpt and Shape into W is a little more rosy. So this actually might be more appropriate with D-Dream, actually, if I wanted to wear it with the liner. And Izamea's lip liner in Gesha, this has a little more brown, and I think probably a nice pair with Suku's lip. But I can't find my Lisa Shape and Sculpt in 2N, which is a staple as well. But for this bag, I think I'm going to go in with Gesha. Yes. And I forgot, we're going back into eyeshadow territory because I could bring one of these beautiful Color Fix sticks by Danessa Myricks. And it doesn't have to be with the connector, although the full length pencil fits just fine in this makeup bag. Does it fit in the units too? Let me see. I know we're up close and personal here. Yeah, it does. It does lengthwise, but you could pack these separately without the connector and it'll just take up less length space, or I could just bring one, right? And in this case, I'm fine with bringing the foil side because what the foil side is going to do is going to provide a little more sparkle and shine if I wanted to maybe pop it on the eye tint, right? And the way I would do that is to gently take some of that foiled finish and look at that right on top of the eye tint if I wanted to. So this is like extra, right? If I wanted extra bling bling bling, it doesn't take up much space, so I just drop it in there. You never know. Also brows, simple. My VBB Baby Blade I've been using the heck out of, and I suspect that I will have to replace this soon. My Suku pencil I also have on standby. What I like about the Suku pencil is that I could just replace the pencil part and not have to buy an entirely new unit. I wish VBB had the same thing, especially knowing that a lot of her products are refillable. It's like, can you just do the eyebrow pencil to be refillable too, please? And something else to consider also, that VBB eyeshadow palettes are quite small as well. So this is great for travel. I have the olive one in here, but I also have the Bordeaux refill as well as the Victoria refill. You can't go wrong with this one for trips because this is just going to be easy day, midday, and night glam right there. And my goodness, I know I already packed my Prada liners, but ooh-wee. If I were to pick one, so if I were to stick with what I have going on now in this makeup bag, I would probably go with, what color is this? Cinnamon. Cinnamon is always great because I could apply that on the entire lid. I could always go in with bronze. Bronze is nice to go in with as well. But I think cinnamon is, yeah. But if I wanted an entirely different eye, I would go in with jeans or Surfside. Is this Surfside? This is Surfside. But I have jeans somewhere. I think I might have jeans in this tray, but I can't find it. It's fine. I'm gonna put in Surfside just in case I wanted to go the other way completely and have that blue eye. And these pencils are so soft where, oh, wrong side, you can just take advantage of their soft texture and then blend. And it just has like that soft diffuse look. And I could lightly draft top and lower lash line, blend with the brush, and I got my Surfside eye. And this is what happens. I go into, but what if I want to do this? So we decided on the lip liner. We're going in with D-Dream. I would actually have this in my fanny pack because I will be reapplying this. And because I'm like, but what if? I'm going in with Bow Black as well. So this is basically what I would bring with me on a trip to cover all of my bases. I think these are great products to rotate through and to combine. And that means, what are we gonna apply this with? So we have brushes. Now this is my Tuckahoe brush book that I have been using religiously because it is just incredibly easy to clean. I could just soak this, wipe the panels, wipe the lining, and it is all good to go. And plenty of brush slots to bring my favorites. As you can see, this side I have for like the smaller eye brushes and smaller complexion brushes. This side I have for the face. And what I brought along on my last trip, my trusted Mizuho CMP 510 synthetic small or medium round foundation brush. Easy to clean, and I can clean it frequently. It's soft, and what I would use to apply the foundation that I brought along. For concealer, well, on quick days like the other day, I just used this brush to sweep my concealer windshield wiper motion style with this larger brush. Like, I didn't have time. But if I had a little time, I would go in with something smaller, like my Refer concealer brush. That's there. Next, I would go in with the setting. So this is my Koiro Masayoshiki collab with Bobo, where I could use this flat top side to apply my loose powder, in this case, that we brought in the makeup bag, to lightly set. And I could also use this for highlighter. So I could hop in the Hourglass palette and lightly tap on the cheekbones, because this is a perfect size brush for those tasks. And for blush, I have been using my Bobo and Tuckahoe collab CH02 brush with black and silver fox hair, and this has been incredibly soft. And the brush head is small enough to fit in the pan sizes of the Hourglass palette. You see that? And I could, this is what I do, I just cut across both at the same time, and look at that pickup. See what I'm saying? Here, I'm gonna, there we go. Look at that. You just saw my bicep vein, I'm sorry. And I also bring a little towel that I put in the makeup bag so it could reduce the rattling and moving around of the products, so they're a little more snug. But this is important to bring so you can wipe your brush after every use to release excess product from the bristles so they don't get overwhelmed with product when you put it back in the brush bag. And of course, I have to bring my beloved Sonia G mini buffer. Now, there is a shorter handle version of her originally sized sheer buffer, the Kiyaki sheer buffer, but I just adore the mini buffer size, and I think Sonia should release a Kiyaki handle size mini buffer brush head design. Please, please. But it hasn't been a problem lengthwise because this brush book accommodates these handles quite well, so it's not an issue. But that's what I've been using for complexion. The foundation, the setting, highlighter, bronzer, blush, application, covered. And on this side, I like to bring one and done brushes with bristle types that can withstand creams and liquids. I think this is T-Squirrel and this is definitely Kolinsky. This is a B-Shadow brush. This is a Tuckahoe brush, both collabs with Bobo. I like both because depending on the shadow style I want to achieve, might need a smaller or larger brush, but I could use this to softly blend the eye tint or even the Tuckahoe brush. And if I wanted to follow up with some diffusing of color, this is from the White Canadian Squirrel set, I believe. from the Yoshiki collab set. Beautifully soft and small enough to just apply the right amount of shadow on the outer lid for that soft diffuse haze effect. And then for precision, I have both from the Bobo Tuckahoe Nebula collection, S02 and S05. S05, I believe might be T-Squirrel again. I don't remember if this is T-Squirrel or Weasel, but this I believe White Canadian. And what I use to blend out my Prada liner to softly diffuse across the lash line, or I would even use this if I wanted to diffuse the VB Bean liner. I could use that to diffuse along the lash line top and bottom. Before that, however, I would probably use this brush to apply highlighter on the inner corner or on the inner arc of the lid. I could even use the S02 for that task, but I've been using this for liner blending and diffusing as of late. So those two go in. We zipper it up. And by the way, I could fit more eyeshadow brushes if I wanted to, but I just kept it at this because I make sure to bring brushes that are multitasking in nature, that can cover several tasks and are durable, easy to clean, easy to work with, are workhorse brushes, but will perform incredibly well. And I make sure, of course, I would clean this before going on my next trip, fold it up, and I would put it in my makeup bag so that it can kind of, again, make everything less movie and groovy in there. And that is it. That's what I would bring. If I needed to bring more, for instance, I would use the larger makeup bag that I've been bringing to Maddie's house because I'm trying to film content there. So I would have to bring makeup that I don't necessarily need to apply per se, but what I need for filming the video. So those are different circumstances, but I've learned to just bring what works. And everything you've seen placed in this makeup bag have just been tried and true, and the main objective is that they're easy. There's no fuss. They just deliver what they need to and give me the face that I need right away. So that is it, family. Please share down below what you like to bring on trips. Maybe you've been on a recent one and you want to share what worked, what didn't work, your favorite brush bags, your favorite makeup bags. I would love to know down below. And if you made it this far, make sure you like this video by clicking that thumbs up. It helps immensely in letting the algorithm know that I'm fun to watch. It will also recommend my videos for other beauty travel enthusiasts like yourself to watch. And consider subscribing because more videos to come. I'll be happy to perhaps film maybe like an autumn version because come seasons change, the makeup does as well. And that means you should consider subscribing so you don't miss that video. And by clicking that notification bell, you'll know when that upload drops immediately. And if it's your first time to my channel, hi, more content to see and to look around through. So please check out this video here and I'll make sure to see you over there. Definitely down in the comments for this one, and on here again next time.